15 Scary Ghost Videos Caught on Security Camera. Part 1. The Footage That Shouldn't Exist. It starts the same way every time. A quiet night. An empty hallway. A camera recording nothing. Until something appears. These are not stories passed down through generations. These are not urban legends whispered in the dark. These are real recordings, captured by security cameras. Cameras that don't imagine, cameras that don't lie. Or at least they shouldn't. Tonight, we're going to examine 15 terrifying pieces of footage, each one more disturbing than the last. And by the end, you may start questioning what really happens when no one is watching. Case 1. The Night Shift Shadow. The footage begins inside a small convenience store. Timestamp 3:12 a.m. The store clerk sits behind the counter, scrolling through his phone. The fluorescent lights hum softly above him. Everything seems normal. Then, a shadow appears near the refrigerator aisle. At first it's subtle, almost unnoticeable. But the longer you look, the clearer it becomes. It doesn't match anything in the store. There's no person, no movement, no source of light to create it. And then it moves. Not across the floor, but against it. The shadow stretches upward, like something standing where nothing exists. The clerk doesn't notice, but the camera does. And just before the footage cuts, the shadow turns toward the counter. Case 2. The Elevator That Should Be Empty. This footage comes from a residential apartment building. Time 2:47 a.m. The elevator doors open on the 6th floor. No one enters. The doors close. But inside the elevator, something is already there. The motion sensor light flickers. And then a faint outline appears in the corner. Humanoid still, watching. The elevator begins to descend. Floor 5, floor 4. The figure becomes clearer with each passing second. By floor 2, it's standing directly in front of the control panel. Then suddenly, every button lights up at once. The elevator stops. Doors open. Nothing there. But the security footage shows something leaving, just too fast to fully see. Case 3. The Child in the Hallway. A family installs security cameras after hearing noises at night. At first, nothing unusual. But one night, the system records something that changes everything. Time 1:09 a.m. The hallway is empty. Then a small figure appears at the far end. A child, barefoot, wearing what looks like an old nightgown. She stands still, completely motionless. Then slowly, she tilts her head. Not like a normal child. Too far, too unnatural. The camera glitches for a second. And when it stabilizes, she's closer. No footsteps, no sound. Just closer. And then, she's gone. But the next morning, the family finds small, wet footprints leading to their bedroom door. Case 4. The Office Chair Incident. This footage was captured in a corporate office building after hours. Time 11:56 p.m. Rows of empty desks. Silent computers. Still air. Then one chair moves. Slowly at first. Then violently. It spins, faster and faster, as if someone invisible is sitting in it. Pushing it. Playing with it. Testing it. Then suddenly, it stops, facing directly toward the camera. And just as it does, another chair across the room begins to move. Case 5. The Basement Door. A homeowner installs a camera facing their basement door after hearing strange noises at night. For several nights, nothing. Until one recording. Time 3:33 a.m. The door handle begins to shake. Slowly at first. then aggressively, as if something inside is trying to get out. The door creaks open just slightly. Darkness inside. No light. No movement. Then, a hand appears. Not fully visible. Just fingers. Long, pale, thin. Gripping the edge of the door. And then, pulling it wider. There's something unsettling about security footage. It doesn't try to scare you. It doesn't use music, or editing, or tricks. It simply records. And sometimes, what it records was never meant to be seen. Because, in many of these cases, the people involved didn't realize anything was wrong until they reviewed the footage later. And by then, it was already too late. Case 6, the parking garage figure. The camera overlooks a dimly lit underground parking garage. Time 2:18 a.m. A single car pulls in slowly. The headlights cut through the darkness as the driver searches for a spot. Everything feels normal. Until the car stops. Not because of another vehicle, but because of something standing ahead. At the far end of the parking lane, there's a figure. Tall, thin, completely still. At first, it's barely visible, almost blending into the shadows. The driver hesitates. The headlights flicker slightly. And for just a moment, the figure disappears. Gone. The driver continues forward cautiously. But as the car passes the exact spot where the figure stood, the rear camera captures something horrifying. The figure is now behind the car, standing inches away from the trunk. No footsteps, no sound, no transition. Just there, watching. Case 7, the hospital corridor. Hospitals are never truly quiet. Even at night, there's always something. Machines humming. Distant footsteps. Voices echoing down long corridors. But this footage shows something different. Time 3:41 a.m. The hallway is empty. Lights flicker slightly, common in older buildings. At the far end of the corridor, a wheelchair sits alone. Unoccupied. Still. Then, it moves. Slowly at first, rolling forward just a few inches. Then stopping. Then again. As if someone unseen is pushing it. The camera zooms slightly, triggered by motion detection. And that's when something else becomes visible. Behind the wheelchair. A faint shape. Not solid, not clear. But undeniably there. Keeping pace with it. Guiding it. Then suddenly, the wheelchair stops. And the shape keeps moving. Passing through it. Continuing down the hallway. Until it reaches the camera. And the feed cuts to static. Case 8, the apartment door knock. This footage was taken from a hallway camera in an apartment complex. Time 1:57 a.m. Everything is still. Then, knock. A loud, sudden knock echoes through the hallway. But no one is there. The camera captures the door clearly. No person, no movement. Just silence. Then, knock again. This time louder. More aggressive. The door handle twitches slightly. From the inside, a resident turns on the light. A shadow appears beneath the door. But it doesn't look like a normal shadow. It moves unnaturally. Stretching, bending, shifting. Then, the knocking stops. The shadow disappears. The resident slowly opens the door. The hallway is empty. But as they step out, the camera catches something behind them. A figure standing inside the apartment, where no one else should be. Case 9, the playground at midnight. The footage comes from a small neighborhood playground. Time 12:26 a.m. Empty swings. Silent slide. No wind. Then, one swing begins to move. Gently at first. Back and forth. Back and forth. But there's no breeze. No disturbance. Then another swing starts moving. And another. Until all of them are swaying in perfect sync. Like something unseen is sitting on each one. Then suddenly, they stop. All at once. Perfect stillness. And that's when the camera captures something near the slide. A small figure. Child-sized. Standing at the top. Completely still. Then it slides down. But not like a normal child. Too smooth, too fast. Almost gliding. And when it reaches the bottom, it doesn't stand up. It vanishes. Mid-frame. Case 10, the mirror reflection. This footage comes from inside a private home. A living room camera facing a large mirror on the wall. Time 2:59 a.m. The room is empty. Still. Then movement. But not in the room. In the mirror. A figure appears in the reflection. Standing behind the couch. But when you look at the actual room, there's nothing there. The reflection shows a person. Tall, motionless. Facing the camera. But the physical space is empty. The figure slowly raises its arm. In the reflection. But in reality, nothing moves. Then, the reflection turns its head directly toward the camera and smiles. A wide, unnatural, distorted smile. The camera glitches violently. And when the image returns, the mirror is empty. Case 11, the staircase surveillance. A home security camera is positioned at the bottom of a staircase. Time 3:07 a.m. The stairs lead into darkness. No lights on above. Then, a sound. Soft. Like a footstep. Then another. The camera captures movement at the top of the stairs. A shadow. Descending. Step by step. But there's no body. No person. Just the shadow. Moving independently. Each step perfectly timed, like something invisible is walking down. When it reaches the final step, it stops, facing the camera. And for a moment, the shadow deepens, expands, as if something is forming, trying to take shape. Then, it rushes forward, straight at the camera, and the footage cuts. Case 12, the store mannequin. A clothing store security camera records overnight footage. Time 4:12 a.m. Rows of mannequins stand motionless, dressed in display outfits, perfectly still, until one of them moves. Just slightly. Its head turns. Barely noticeable. But enough. Then, another mannequin shifts. Then another. One by one, they begin to move. Slow, unnatural adjustments. As if they're waking up. Becoming aware. Then suddenly, all of them stop. At the same time. And every single one is now facing the camera. Case 13, the backseat passenger. A rideshare driver installs a camera inside his car. Time 2:33 a.m. He picks up a passenger. Or at least he thinks he does. The footage shows him stopping on a quiet street. The rear door opens, but no one is visible entering. He begins driving, talking, responding to someone. But the backseat looks empty. Then, the camera glitches. For just a split second. And in that moment, a figure appears in the backseat, sitting directly behind him. watching him. Then it's gone. The driver continues talking. Unaware, there's a moment in every piece of footage like this where something changes. At first, you're just observing. A viewer safe, separate. But then, something in the video reacts. Not to the people inside it, but to the camera itself. And once that happens, you're no longer just watching. You're involved. Case 11, the kitchen camera incident. A small home installs a night vision camera in the kitchen after hearing strange noises. Time 3:14 a.m. The footage is grainy. Black and white. Cabinets closed. Table untouched. Everything still. Then, a drawer slides open. Slowly. No sound at first. Then a faint creaking. It stops halfway. Then suddenly, it slams shut. Violently. The camera flickers. And for a single frame, there's someone standing in the kitchen. Right in front of the camera. Too close. Too sudden. A face. Pale, hollow eyes. Mouth slightly open like it's trying to speak. Then it's gone. The room is empty again. But the camera continues recording. And for the rest of the night, every few minutes, another drawer opens. Case 12, the bedroom footage. This video was never meant to be public. It was found on a home security system after a family reported unusual sleep disturbances. Time 2:51 a.m. A couple sleeps peacefully. The room is dark. Only faint light from outside. Then, movement. At the foot of the bed. A shape. At first, it blends into the darkness. Then it rises. Too tall to be a person standing on the floor. It leans over the bed. Watching them. Studying them. For several seconds, it doesn't move. Then, the woman shifts slightly in her sleep. And the figure reacts. It jerks back. Fast. Too fast. Then slowly it crouches down. And disappears beneath the bed. The couple never wakes up. Case 13, the school hallway after hours. A security guard reviews footage after hearing footsteps during his shift. Time 11:38 p.m. An empty school hallway. Lockers lining both sides. Dim emergency lighting. Then, a locker door slams shut. Then another. Then another. One after the other. Like a chain reaction. But no one is there. The camera pans slightly. And that's when it catches something at the far end. A figure. Standing in front of the last classroom door. Small. Like a child. It slowly raises its arm. And points directly at the camera. Then, every locker door bursts open at once. And the screen cuts. Case 14, the security guard's last round. This footage comes from a warehouse security system. The guard wears a body cam. Time 3:22 a.m. He walks through the building, doing a routine check. Flashlight scanning the darkness. Everything seems normal. Until he hears something. A faint whisper. Behind him. He turns. Nothing. But the camera picks it up. A shadow moving across the wall. Not matching his movement. He continues walking. Faster now. Nervous. The whisper comes again. Closer this time. Almost right next to his ear. The audio distorts. And then, a voice. Clear. Right into the microphone. Don't turn around. He freezes. Breathing heavily. But he does. Slowly he turns. The flashlight beam shakes, and in the darkness ahead, there's something standing there. The footage cuts before we see it clearly. The guard reportedly quit the next day and refused to ever speak about what he saw. Case 15, the camera that watched back. This is the final piece of footage, and it's the one that unsettles people the most, because it doesn't just show something strange. It suggests something else entirely. Time unknown. The camera is placed in a living room, facing a hallway. No movement. No sound. Then, the camera shifts, just slightly, as if someone touched it, adjusted it, but no one is there. Then it shifts again, tilting upward, focusing directly down the hallway, like it's trying to see something, or someone. Then, a figure appears at the end of the hall, standing still, facing the camera, and for the first time in all the footage, it doesn't flicker, it doesn't distort. It's clear, solid, real. And then, it takes a step forward, then another, slow, deliberate. The camera begins to shake. Not glitch. Shake. As if reacting. As if afraid. The figure gets closer. Closer. Until it fills the frame. And just before the footage ends, it leans in and whispers something. So quiet, it's almost impossible to hear. But when the audio is enhanced, there's only one sentence. There's a pattern in all of this. At first, the entities are distant. Shadows, movements, small disturbances. Then they get closer. They interact. They react. And eventually, they notice the camera. But what if that's not the final step? What if the camera isn't just recording them? What if it's showing them where to go next? Case 16, the repeating hallway. This footage was discovered on a security system inside an office building. Time 3:00 a.m. A long hallway. Endless doors on both sides. The camera captures a man walking. Normal pace. Checking each door as part of his routine. But something feels off. Because after he reaches the end of the hallway, he appears again. At the beginning. Same walk, same movement. Looping. Again and again. The timestamp continues forward. 3013-02303. But the man never leaves the hallway. Then, on the fourth loop, something changes. There's another figure, standing near one of the doors, watching him pass. He doesn't notice, but the camera does. And with each loop, the figure gets closer to him, until finally, it's right behind him, and the footage ends. Case 17, the door that opened itself. A suburban home installs multiple cameras after reports of doors opening at night. Time 2:22 a.m. The front door is locked. Deadbolt secured. Everything still. Then, the lock turns. Slowly. Click. The door creaks open. No one enters. But something does. You can't see it. But you can hear it. Footsteps. Soft. Measured. Walking into the house. The camera inside the hallway picks it up next. Nothing visible. But a shadow moves along the wall. Not attached to anything. Just moving. Room to room. Exploring. And then, it stops. Right in front of the camera. The audio picks up breathing. Slow. Deep. Right against the microphone. Case 18, The backyard figure. A motion detection camera activates in a backyard. Time 3:11 a.m. The yard is empty. Then, a figure appears near the fence. Tall, thin, still. It doesn't move for several seconds. Then suddenly, it's closer. No walking. No transition. Just closer. The camera tries to refocus. The image distorts slightly. And then, the figure lifts its arm, pointing directly at the house, at a specific window. The bedroom window, where the homeowner is sleeping. Case 19, the screen within the screen. This is one of the most analyzed clips online. A man is reviewing his own security footage, recorded earlier that night. He's watching it on his computer. The camera records him watching the footage. So you see both him and the screen. At first, everything matches. But then, on the screen, something appears behind him. A figure, standing in the room. But in reality, there's nothing there. He pauses the footage, zooms in. Confused, the figure on the screen tilts its head. But in real life, nothing moves. Then, slowly, the man turns around. The camera captures his reaction. Fear. Immediate. Raw. And the video ends. Case 20, the final recording. This last clip has no confirmed source. No location. No owner. It simply appeared online, anonymously. Time not displayed. The camera is already on, recording an empty room. Then, a voice, not from the room, from the recording itself. Distorted, layered, like multiple voices speaking at once. We saw you watching. The camera begins to shake. Not physically, digitally, like the file itself is breaking. Then, frames start appearing. Not from the room, from other footage. The hallway, the mirror, the playground, the bedroom, all the previous cases, flashing rapidly, like something is connecting them, linking them. Then, a final frame appears. Clear, still, a camera, facing you. And for a brief moment, it feels like it's not part of the video anymore. Like it's not recorded. Like it's live. And then, black screen. Direct hit final narration, closing twist. Security cameras were designed to make us feel safe. To prove what's real. To capture truth. But what happens when they start capturing something else? Something that doesn't follow rules. Something that learns. Adapts. Moves closer every time it's seen. Because maybe these aren't random events. Maybe every time someone watches, they become part of it. Another observer. Another target. And the next time you check your cameras or watch a video like this late at night, just remember, you might not be the only one watching.